excited because we don't do enough in-person artist talks. They're usually remote, which is still cool. It just kind of sucks to like watch someone talk through a screen, right? Especially if you're going out to a place. But thank you all for coming. We have beer and snacks and refresh for people that don't drink alcohol. Rafia Santana is Brooklyn-based and raised, right?
Yeah, born and raised. I have not moved like at all. I'm still in the same like apartment. It's actually kind of crazy.
So they're a Brooklyn-based artist and polymath, and I'm really excited to have them give the talk. So thanks so much for being here.
Hey, thank you. Hey, good to see y'all. I love applause. I'm from Brooklyn, born and raised, still in the same block. It's not quite the same neighborhood. It's changed drastically in the last 27 years. It's changed a lot within the last 5 years alone. And my work tends to be a lot about my experiences and just how I navigate through the world. And it's like my work just came out of like a diaristic need to just talk about what my life is going through. And even I've been doing it just all my life because I was born into a family of artists. My mother's a photographer and an archivist and like all these things. I'm actually gonna pull up her like NPR thing real quick. So my mom loves it when I bring her up in relation to my own practice. She's like, yeah, I taught you everything you know. So this is my mom, photographer / psychic. Yeah, she does know what's going to happen. So when she talks about stuff, it's always good to like listen. My mom's a photographer, archivist. My dad's a filmmaker. They're both storytellers in their own way. So he does documentary films and he also does photography and stuff. So it's just like I was surrounded by this energy. And my brother is also an artist and he has a son now and the son's definitely an artist. He's always trying to like take pictures on his cameras and stuff like that. And so with that, it was just like I had things to say, and I didn't always have the proper or the just like the vocabulary to know these things that I was feeling. And recently, I guess it was like last year. Let me see if I might embarrass myself because I haven't like updated this website, and the like number links always get messed up. Tumblr, but this is my project Rafia's World, where it's like I have this whole, my mom's an archivist, as I said, so she's kept like all my notebooks from elementary school and stuff like that. So I have all these images like from different years from 2000. So I was 10 years old. I was 7 years old for this one. You'll see that. There's a lot of weird stuff. Like I made a Pokemon notebook that's just like paper folded on itself. These different drawings. My favorite ones are like the ones from when I was like 5 years old. So let me go to that.
Are you sharing your screen?
Yeah. I should be. Am I? I don't know. Is this me?
No, you're not.
I wanted to share this. Share this. All right. Oh, that's just what I'm looking at. Okay, cool. So these are some images from when I was 5. So it's just like something that I've been taught that is normal to do, just to make art, to deal with whatever I'm going through. And I love you, Dad. It's really cute. I'll resend that to him later. This one's creepy. You know, kids always have like, if you ever go through any like kids drawings, there's always some like really borderline like satanic stuff in there. There's another one that's like, I love 6, and it's just like 666 drawn over the screen. And this is one of my favorite ones. I actually have this one printed large and framed. Yeah. I like the one, but it's also like, I guess that's just like my essence the whole time. It's like, I don't want to mess up. I want to like do good things and as much as possible. And so I guess what this talk is about, like, is about memory manipulation, and what was the third one I said? Whatever. My work. Memory manipulation and how I have the worst memory, and the spiritual value of the archive, which helps memory. Go back to my mom. Like, my mom has like this huge like cabinet full of stuff, and my dad has like this huge book full of like stuff that he's made from years ago, and I get to look at these pictures, and I always love to see like baby pictures of me and stuff, of course. But it's just like all of these things that they will tell like these oral stories and these stories like through their mouth and like even music and stuff, but it's like I don't hear it, like I can't remember it well unless it's like repeated to me, unless I can also read it, unless I can also like see it, like see the actual thing. over and over again. And so I'm like looking through these files from my parents, and I'm like, wow, look at this stuff. You know, I don't remember any of like the stories that my family tells me, which is terrible. You should like know the oral history of your family. So it's just like not how I process information. And so it's just like there's audio, there's visuals, and there's written words, and I access all of those. Like I use all of those as much as I can because like one is never enough. What did I go to school for? I went to school for photography at Purchase College. I don't know if you've ever been to Purchase, New York. It's really cute, I guess. But so I got my BFA in photography there, and once I got in, I was like, I think I got accepted for graphic design or something. I'll pull up my Tumblr again. So I have all this stuff. It's like I have all these designs that I make. So that's something I've always been doing. I've always been doing this like weird Photoshop stuff. I was lucky enough to have a computer in my house, and I was lucky enough that there was another one. So I got the hand-me-down one from like my brother or something like that. There was no internet on it, and I was spoiled because there was internet in the apartment. So I was like, I want it too. I want it in my room. My brother had it. He's like 8.5 years older than me. I should have internet too if he has it. That then it was like a whole nother phone line you had to get to like do that. You couldn't just connect it. So I didn't have like any like internet access, but I had like Photoshop. For some reason, my parents put Photoshop on the computer, or it was there for them to use it maybe. And I would just like figure out what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Let me see if I pull up my Facebook page actually, which is gonna be kind of terrible. I'll try not to look at the news feed so much, but in be scrolling. Oh my God, what happened today? But I've been on Facebook so long. I've been on since like 2007. So going to like my first picture is some image that I photoshopped of myself. So I'm going to be speaking like non-linearly, I think. What do I want? So anyway, I've always been making these like weird images of myself and manipulating them to be sort of, this is not what I wanted. This whole new Facebook thing is messing me up. I'm too old for this. They keep changing stuff like every 2 weeks. Still don't understand this profile video thing. I'm trying to find my profile pictures, which used to be easy. You just click on your profile picture. Now I have to go through albums. Whose idea was this? So anyway, so some more stuff as a kid. I just always was cutting things out. Cutting paper out was like my favorite thing. It still is my favorite thing. I'll stand by it to this day that I can cut a better line than your fave can with like an X-Acto knife, but using safety scissors. That's how I'm like, sorry you have to see this. I'm gonna go backwards now. All right, here we go, 2007. My hair was not actually purple. I like photoshopped it purple because I was just experimenting like how to change what I look like, what I can just show myself as. And people all thought it was like real. It took like 8 years after this fact to actually bleach and dye my hair purple. I had to wait till I was like out of my parents' house. Doing weird stuff like this, like I guess I was going through like a depressive period. I looked very emo, very moody. That's where I was at. So just stuff like this, I can look back at these, like this was from 2007, and I can look back at this and see where I was at a specific time. If I didn't have these images, I wouldn't know where I was at. I wouldn't know like March 31st, 2008, you know, I was like in this place, which in some ways it's a good thing. Like we're built to forget things for a reason sometimes, but it's really good like for people, especially like me, like in terms of like what I look like, and in terms of where my people have come from, and just in terms of like my own stresses and like the things that I go through that I can't like, I feel like overwhelmed by things, so it's harder to remember specific like small events and specific feelings. Redeem is like, I can't see the screen. I have like Instagram Live just like a backup. Can you see it now? There's my email picture. But yeah, tell Redeem to log into the other stream. Don't look at this one. So I mean, in 2007, I guess it was like the MySpace days and stuff like that. And I noticed it's like the images that people use on their profiles and to like just project themselves to the world. That was sort of my first real interaction with that. Like there was like Sconex and stuff like that. I don't know if anybody in here knows about what Sconex is. It's just like the Facebook of the Facebook of like middle school, high school kids in New York City. Like it was specific to that. That was very pre-Facebook. So I just like noticing what pictures people put up of themselves, like how they show themselves to the world, like how cute they think they look, you know, what angles to use, and definitely MySpace was the time for the angles. And I was lucky enough to have like a digital camera. I got my mom's hand-me-down digital camera. She's a photographer, so she was like, all right, this is old, I'm gonna try something new. I think she got like a fancy one. And so I was lucky enough to I don't know why my brother didn't get one. Maybe he did. He got other stuff. He's the firstborn, don't worry about him. But I got this like hand-me-down digital camera, and I just took pictures of everything. I've got pictures, I think, from even when I was in preschool, where they gave me like a little point and shoot, a little disposable camera, and it's like a selfie of me like looking into it. I didn't know what I was doing, but just figuring out like how I look. It was like a real training to present myself to the world. The internet is definitely where I learned that firsthand. I feel like in schools and stuff, you're just like, you talk to your friends and you talk to like who's around you, but the internet, you're accessing people who don't know who you are. They're not in your life, they're not in your like realm of experience at all. And so they have these different impressions of you, you know, and they have, what you get from them is like the like, you know, you get the thumbs up, or what was it on MySpace, do you remember? Like were you able to, or was it just comments then? Could you like say, oh, I like this without saying something? Yeah, I bet you they do now, but yeah, so just like getting that sort of just feedback and being able to see the physical amount of feedback in like on the screen was something I was always interested in. And just like I'm like 15, 16, I was going through puberty, and I was definitely ugly, so I was like wanted to like show, like I wanted to see myself in a cute way, because like obviously as a kid, you know, you can already see like the people who are like prettiest, or the people who have like the most of something that people want, you know, they'll get the most attention. I was always interested in playing with that. Like I always had like friends and stuff, but I was like, what is it that makes like somebody stand out? Like what is that thing? And it was always different for somebody else, you know. For somebody it might be like their looks, for somebody it might be their specific talent, you know, or they're funny or something. And so I was always playing with these different ways of sort of showing that online, because people were like increasingly using the internet just to like just to exist. And you have to show yourself in a different way than you do, like, you know, to the people around you. You're different heights. Like I'm meeting people here that I've met on the internet. First of all, like I didn't know you were as tall as you were. So like, because everybody's pictures are like, you know, eye level. So it's like looks like this, and a lot of people think, and I never understand that. I mean, like I understand it in that way, but it's always like a little jarring. It's like, oh, okay, I have to like recalibrate like what these people are, because especially I'm short. I mean, oh, hold on, let me show these shoes real quick. I borrowed these. These are amazing. I just met these shoes like 2 days ago, so I'm still astonished. I'm gonna have to like check these out later. But yeah, just like this, I'm taller than I usually am. Like I'm 5'2", and I guess the way that I present myself online, it seems bigger than that. Most people are like, wow, I didn't know you were so like literally like so small. They meet me and they're like unsure of like how to interact with me. It's just like a different experience. And I'm rambling. Let me see, what can I talk about next? I'll go through my Tumblr real quick. Oh, okay, Black Kids Rule the World. This is like my favorite recent thing. On Facebook, I just make these hashtags just because it's fun to keep up with stuff. And I think I got into the habit mostly on Instagram and Tumblr. Like Facebook only just recently got my mom says the audio is so much better on Instagram, but that's also because I'm right in front of my phone. I don't know. I don't know what to tell her. Sorry. Let me like not even look at this. Put this over here somewhere. They get to see my hand. Oh my God! Now Redeem's talking to my mom like in the Instagram live. That's the funny part about live. You can like chat with other people at somebody who's not looking at the screen. But I just make a lot of these hashtags whenever I can think of something that I might want to repeat later. What is the like function of hashtags? Different people, I think, they use them slightly differently. People use them to like get viral, but it's mostly like I use it as like a reference point. So I started using Black Kids Use the World to just like tag any of these like videos and pictures of Black kids just being awesome. It's totally awesome. being amazing, which they usually are, because it's like they have like the most like not the most clout, but the most influence definitely on the internet. And they're super amazing, and they always they have like time in their hands. They have more time in their hands than like black adults. So it's like the kids are like, they're in school, they're goofing off, and they're just coming up with shit on the fly, like 2 seconds, just something that was funny, it sounded funny. And they've always been doing this. Kids always making up stuff, but now we have like the internet, we can see it in real time, just immediately see these things. So to sort of follow that and to follow it across multi-platforms. So it's like, oh, I have something on Facebook, tag it Black Kids Rule the World. I have something on Instagram, Black Kids Rule the World. I have it on Tumblr. I could still find it, if I put in that tag anywhere. And that tag isn't really being used, surprisingly. Like, if I put that in quotation marks, I'm like the only one who comes up. Like, my stuff is the only thing that comes up, which is dope so far. We'll see when somebody steals that, because people are always stealing my shit and stealing shit off the internet on the regular. So I made this image, which is actually what I should have done for that one quote that got shared around, that the like support women you aren't attracted to. So I like made this, it was, I don't even, what was it, like International Women's Day or something like that, National Women's Day. So I posted this status on Facebook, support women that you aren't attracted to, and it blew up. It was like the most viral thing I ever posted on Facebook. It was kind of like off-putting because I didn't expect that. I was kind of just like saying something. So it got like, thousands of shares or whatever. And then like I see like the next day on Twitter, somebody made like this icon of it. Wait, let me see if I can pull that up. And somebody made like this ugly picture of it and used my words and didn't put my name on it, and that got like a million likes. And I'm like, why'd you make this? Oh, well, somebody else posted that. Whatever. But it was just really annoying, the fact that it was just like they took like the exact words that I had said, like not even like remix it, because I'm sure I didn't get that from, myself. It was like a conglomerate of like things that I read online in different phrasing, but they like just took that exact phrasing and just made the image, and it was just like really annoying, because that happens all the way down. It doesn't just happen for like, oh, a Facebook, a tweet. There's BuzzFeed's taking tweets from other people and just using that to sort of construct these articles that there's very little like original writing in it. It's just like words that they're taking from other people. So I guess it's important to have your own stuff and have your own sort of icons and things like that, which is another thing. I put my name all over everything now, just in terms of the internet, and not so much people stealing it. I'm not so worried about that, but there's just like the free sharing aspect. You're just like, oh, I like this picture, so I'm going to take it, I'm going to like just copy it and share it to my friend, and they're going to share it to their Instagram, and they're going to do this. And without like a name on it, nobody's gonna know who it is. I've seen like my image like with my face on it show up, and it's like, oh, I don't know who this artist is, and it has like this whole poem attached to it and stuff like this. So it's like and so now I've just been working my own like physical name into my work. Partly is branding, but other reasons it's just like so you just know where to find more of that. Like a lot of times it's like it's not even for me. It's for somebody will see this image, say, wow, that's cool, I want to see more of that, and maybe they'll see my name and go follow that, and go find me somewhere else and see the rest of my work. Which is, I guess it's always been a thing, but now with the internet, with such, you get to see my inbox. It's I always like bold it with letters that I haven't opened. What else can I show y'all? So many things are in here. Oh, okay, this one was good. Last summer there was like a month where like there were four highly publicized events of police killing Black people, and it was just like it was like a week. It was like 2 to 3 weeks or something, and like 4 different people got murdered. It was really stressful. And on Facebook, like everybody Black is mourning. Like everybody's just in like this deep mourning, and we don't know what to do because all these videos are popping up. Like there was like the dude got killed on Facebook Live, and it was like really jarring. And it's just like all my white friends are like still sharing memes and like joking and stuff like that. And so I just like flipped out. I said, okay, you want to share this stuff? I'll make memes so you can look at it, because that's the only way y'all can like communicate in a way. Yeah, so that's something you would like share. You get to a point where white people feel like uncomfortable sharing the words, because like if they don't understand them, you don't want to like share something you don't completely understand, so you just avoid it, which was the thing that I hated. So I made a bunch of memes based on or using the images from like As Told by Ginger, which was a great show. If you don't know that show, you should check it out. And using like the black character from it, because like there's this one picture of her with like these barrettes, these flower barrettes, and she's amazing. And it looks just like, I was looking for a specific picture of her using a computer. I don't know if that exists. I was looking for it for like meme purposes. Oh, here it is. Oh, cool, tiny. I love it. Anyway, I'll click it anyway. Shoot, well, you get to see her. Anyway, Miranda, she's amazing, and she's like a bitch in the show. It's great. Anyway, I was like, wow, that's exactly me. So I was using pictures of her to just like express myself, just using whatever medium worked for me, and that's the one that worked for me at that time. And it got the point across too. Like a lot of my friends were like shook after this. It was really kind of funny. So I was just using these images that I found, and I just made them myself. So let's just scroll through this real quick. Yeah, this one was good. And also like using my name to sort of direct your attention to different parts of the image but you can still see it, but I was trying to like not have it. Yeah, so I made a few of these. I actually made a little bit more, but some of them get really personal and like upsetting, like weird like macroaggressions that I went through in college, which I'm glad I'm past, but I'm glad I went through it too, to experience that. Here's my Tumblr page. So everything you see here, you can see online at raf-i-a at tumblr.com. If you just type my name in, it'll come up. Here's like, I guess my most recent excursion, which was like a huge accident, which was really funny. It was like the day Donald Trump got elected, and I was sick, I was in bed, I was just like miserable, and everybody's freaking out. And of course, every time like white people start freaking out, and they don't, there's this thing that's like, oh my God, we don't know what to do. And we're constantly saying like what to do, but it's also we don't know what to do because y'all made this mess and it's crazy and we don't know how to get out of it. So what I just did, I was like, okay, y'all want to do something. Donald Trump just got elected. What can you do to like actually physically like help? And for me, I was being very selfish. I was like, I'm sick. I need some soup. Somebody Postmates me, somebody give me money so I can Postmates me some soup and some NyQuil. And so like 3 different people sent me like $15 or something. So I was like, okay, I did what I needed to do, and I still had money left over. So I was like, okay, who's black or brown and needs like a meal? I'll cover a meal. And, a friend of mine was like, oh, I could use a meal. And somebody was like, are you really doing this? Are you just going to like buy people meals? And I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm sitting at home, I'm sick. I have my phone and my computer. Yeah, let's do this. Why not? And so like, it just kind of snowballed, and it was just like dollars and dollars coming through my PayPal account. And it just got to a point, and I think it was like a week or two, I had like a $4,000 just like came through this account, and I was like, out of a fuck. And I'm just like doing these orders to like people all over the US. It wasn't just like people that I knew, because they're telling people that they know who need food, and just like coming through me, and I'm just doing these orders on Seamless and Grubhub, because that was like the easiest thing for me to do. It was the easiest, and because like all of these programs like froze my accounts because it looks like fraud, because I was sending meals like one after another to like people all over the US from like one account. It looks like somebody was like stealing money and doing some like whole fraud thing. So I think every single program did this, but Seamless and Grubhub, they have a good like customer service, and they like looked into it, and they called me up and they were like, oh yeah, we unfroze your account, seems pretty cool what you're doing. All right, so that's what I use. It's the easiest, it's the most convenient. I didn't have to call them and unfreeze anything. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm on a break. I keep having to go on breaks because the whole exercise of the project was getting people to give money, giving up the funds that needs to be redistributed anyway. We need to balance the scales. And I was taking it upon myself to like sort of redistribute it myself, and it just became this like huge project that of course I can't handle all by myself. And it was just like a weird like tie-in situation where I'd have to make it into a bigger thing. Like, oh, I'd have to either make it a corporation or a nonprofit or something, and I have to like lock it in what it needs to be. So right now I'm like taking a break and just like reorganizing what I want this program to be. Also, like the donation slowdown. Edison, the whole point of it was like the magic of getting people to donate. You know, it wasn't so much, oh, I want to get like a grant from this one place. You know, I want like individual people to take the actual like personal responsibility to give up their own funds and redistribute that. So that until I figured that'll be the next thing to find out like a creative way to do that. And also get people to like help me do this project, so I would like to be able to pay them. I didn't get anybody to help me because it was like I didn't have any like feasible thing to give back to them except for like, oh, thank you, you helped a lot. So just otherwise getting people to do things and manipulating people one way or another. I'm really interested in advertisements, and tabloids, especially tabloids, because it makes you like, the whole point of it is to grab you into something that you might necessarily won't always be interested in, but it's like it'll hook you into, oh, a celebrity you're really interested in, and oh, something about like their money or something, and just using all these combined things to figure out, oh, what we want to make you consume this somehow. All the advertisements like candy and stuff, candy wrappers, how to get these kids to eat like sugary stuff that's totally bad for them, and you're gonna have to pay for it 10 times over at the dentist and stuff like that. But like the advertisements look really pretty, they're super satisfying, and so I make a lot of my work based on that. This project here was actually a part of Late at Tate, which is the Tate Museum in the UK. They hit me up, they found me on Tumblr. They have this like group of young people, like 20-somethings, that find artists on Tumblr and like bring them in for this Late at Tate event. So I was like, that was really cool, they found me there. That means I need to get back on Tumblr. I kind of just stopped using it after a while. But these are like images that I made from their collection. They said, okay, here are images that are like the copyright is expiring, so we can use them online and stuff like that. So they just gave me sort of free reign. So we want you to remix these images based on, okay, let me actually show you what they were basing what they wanted the images to look like. I have this project called the Black Power Project, which is actually really funny. Oh, not my Bandcamp. Oh, stop it. Tag. I might actually have like the video in here. I guess not. This is my Black Power Project, where I take white celebrities and turn them black. More specifically, white celebrities that have been using black culture to their financial advantage and cultural clout advantage. Here's one. This is my favorite one. Justin Bieber in a do-rag, which is essentially kind of like what he looks like right now anyway. He's got the whole Slim Shady thing going on. That was also me working my name into stuff. You know, each one has my name on it somehow. Just so it's like, because these will definitely, like, somebody will send this to somebody and like, what the fuck? People thought this artist was white. You know, the person who made this was a white person because it was just on Tumblr. You know, my face is an icon. It's a black icon, but it's just like when you share it and stuff, it just shows like where, you know, people reblogging and stuff. So people were like freaked out. They were like, oh my god, how could a white person make this and blah blah blah. And it's like, this is totally rude. I'm like, no, it's okay, it's all right, it's me. So I made a few of these. The Kylie one was my latest one. I'm super proud of this one too. Black Kylie. I don't know, just use like the drips from her like lip gloss thing. So I made a ton of these to just sort of show like what would you think of them if they were actually black? You know, does it change anything for you? And I've got like white friends of mine who said like it made them uncomfortable to like physically see that, and I was like, I guess I get that. I don't really understand. It's weird as hell. I did also like make their lips a little bit bigger sometimes, and their nose is wider. Definitely for Justin Bieber, I made his nose wider, his lips bigger. So just these really subtle changes to signify blackness. This Miley Cyrus one. I think Miley was the first one that I made, and she was just wearing a sweater that said rap music. Also, fuck Miley. In general, I need to bring that image back. Actually, I should have brought it back right after that art. What was it? Teen Vogue. Forget her. So Tate contacted me and said, okay, we like that project. Can you make work that looks like that for this Late at Tate thing? So I did that. Oh yeah, it's in the thing. Yeah, there's a video too. It was super big. I wish I could have gone. They was like, "Oh, we hit our limit for budget. We can't fly you out." So I was like, "All right, y'all the Tate, but everybody said these little parts of it. So that's the installation. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Those are people there, and there were 4 of them, and it was in like this octagonal space. Yeah, I super wish I could have been there. It was awesome, super cool. To like see my work that big. I think that's like the biggest my work has ever been physically. And so these loops were playing. These, where is it? So these gifts are just playing, especially this one. Like even if you're in the Tate, still Rafia, it's just like you get this little break, but it's like I just go right back to being like an internet artist after this, because everybody's like, oh my god, this is huge and this is big, and I was like, yeah, it is, if I can use it, if I can like throw it, I have to throw it in my CV and like make it work for me. It's never gonna like work on its own. And this was specifically like very tabloid based. I just found this picture too. It's like I was looking specifically for like pictures of black people so there was like 2. And this one is like, of course, like the servant or whatever in the front. It was all about like the bride in the middle, whoever that is, Virgin Mary looking head ass. But so that was a really fun project actually. I guess we could talk about the archive a bit more. I actually keep a extensive archive myself. Of course, like being inspired by my mother and by my family's like hoarding tactics. We just like keep a lot of stuff. I'll talk about this in a second too. But just these things to have, especially like my mom is really big in the ancestry.org right now, and just finding like where we came from, and just like, so it's like there's like a limit to how far back I can look, into my own history. And so having an archive is sort of just like compulsive, that I want to just like hold on all of the stuff that could, just evaporate. And I've been able to do that just mostly because I have like the physical storage. I have these notebooks from when I was a kid. I've lived in the same apartment all my life, which is like a miracle, especially in Brooklyn, New York, where everybody's getting like uprooted and moved around. My parents were lucky enough to like forward thinking enough, and just all the stars aligned for them to be able to have like a co-op space. And so I'm still there, and like now I'm in this like expensive neighborhood, and they're like totally out of place. It's really weird. I'm gonna go back, and it's gonna be like very warm, and so I'm gonna see exactly the demographic of my neighborhood when I go back. So in the wintertime, they're all kind of like hidden, and I didn't notice it. But okay, here's my first solo show that I'm still super proud of. This up until the Tate thing, I think this was the biggest, and then the Tate went bigger, and then I went really small after that. But this was at Mokata in Brooklyn, Mokata Museum. It's the museum of the. Let me look it up and stop trying to make it up myself. Museum of Contemporary African Diasporan Art. How do I pronounce that? Diasporic arts. Okay. It's a museum in my neighborhood, and they hit me up and was like, let's do a studio visit, and they came through to like my bedroom in my apartment, and I just showed the person my work, and they said, okay, cool, we want to do a solo show. And I was like, whoa, dope. I just graduated like 2015, so I graduated like 2 years before that, a year and 2 years before that, and it was just like it was really exciting and really fun, and it made it super easy. These are images that I had like online that I just showed on a computer, so I was so used to seeing them like on my phone size and stuff, so they got them printed all big, and it was just like, it was in the window gallery, so it's out in public. So I had this premium 100% black, which actually came from that Justin Bieber image. Let me go back. That was the first place I had made that tag, and I saw that, and I was really into that as like its own thing, its own design. So I remade it into that. I should have worn that shirt. Oh snap! I brought it with me too. This too bad. But I have those on shirts, absolutely. I really wanted them to put that like right on the corner, so it's like on the way to the mall, which was really super fun because it was really eye popping. It looks like candy in the window, and that's kind of what I want it to look like. To jump back again to hashtagging, I have the hashtag called Rafia Love the Kids. Every time I have like a table something, or I like show my work somewhere, like kids are really drawn to it because I'm wearing like a kids thing now, but it's like I have like this kid stuff. I wear like kid barrettes, and they're really drawn to the work. And so I started sort of being conscious of, that demographic that's looking at the stuff that I make. So I just like less dicks and stuff in my artwork, but just like showing, just sort of like being truthful to myself and just being, I don't know, being sort of real. Just these are just images that I took of myself like at some late night. It was like 4th of July or something, and I painted it. I like digitally painted it on my computer. Did it like really, and it was the slowest work I'd ever done. Like at this point, it took me like hours and days to like build these things because I'm like actually putting down the color physically and not just like drawing a shape and filling it, which is what I do with these designs. And so it made it sort of a completely different body of artwork. This one's a favorite of mine too. So I like feeling like exalted, like I feel like an angel. And I was totally, that's like me, literally I was like taking a picture like this and I just cut the back like so just like being able to make the image without having to actually, like I wasn't actually on some tower in the sky, doing this. Being able to construct these situations from just images that I make. Let me find one that I really do weird stuff. I have these weird things where I double my body and I have all these different like limbs and things. And it freaks people out sometimes, other times so stuff like this, where I was doing this in Photoshop because I wanted to know how to do that. That seemed really cool, and just like making things that I wanted to know like how to do it, just, and learning through the internet. Mostly I was just Googling how to make things and how to make things look like it was in a magazine. Like I want that magazine crisp, like retouch look. So I taught myself how to retouch skin. Especially I had like a lot of acne marks and stuff like that, and just figuring out how to take that out. So I like was teaching myself that in high school and like middle school and just like figuring it out. And I finally Googled it in college, and I took photography in college, and everybody was like the same sort of. The genre was kind of just like, light and shadows and stuff like that, because that's what you're supposed to learn how to do. You're supposed to be able to capture all the technical parts of it. But then a lot of times in college, you want to do what your professors want. So you get caught up doing the same technical work. And I was just like, I started feeling like crumpled up and like stifled. And I was like, nah, fuck it. I'm just like going to go wild and like do this like flash work. This was kind of part of that. And I just started doing like selfies again, like just being real and having all these like weird colors and stuff. And the biggest part of college for me was the critique. Like that was probably like the most influential part of art school. That sit in class, and the style of critique was specifically like a Yale-oriented style of critique. I don't know if any of y'all have been to Yale, have sat in any of their classes at all. Most of the professors in the photography department at Purchase came from Yale, and so they like brought with them this like this critique styles where you bring in several copies of your pre-critique statement to talk about like what your body of work is about. You hand it out to everybody in the class, you read it out loud, and then you're not allowed to speak for the rest of the critique. Which is like, of course, a lot of people have problems with that, because up until that point you'd be able to like rebuttal and do all this stuff. So I was like, all right, whatever, I don't have to talk. So they would just do that, and they'd be like rattling off this stuff. And of course I'm one of 3 black people maybe in like the whole department, and so it's like all these people from like all these different parts of upstate, West Coast, some people from Portland, I think one person was from Portland, and like just like these different places. Not every, like maybe one other person was from New York, and she's from Harlem and she was black, and then the other black person was from Westchester, and everybody else was from like Long Island and stuff like that. So just getting all these different world views from the U.S. views on my work, and not being able to say anything back toward it. And so that was like a major lesson in just like knowing what they take from it and knowing what other people take from the work, and that was the exercise. So it's like, you're not always going to be there to, rebuttal your work. Your work is going to be up on the walls. You're not going to be there the whole time sitting in front of it, waiting for somebody to say the wrong thing. So what I took from that was like, okay, how do I make you see something that I want you to see without me being there? That's a lot of what all these pictures of FKA twigs. But that's what a lot of my practice was based on. Like, okay, I want you to see like the sun coming through the shadow because that's important to the image, you know. So I'll have something directing to that, or I'll have specific designs that sort of like I've just made it in a way so like the design and the composition of the image would point to that, you know, or I would take something out that they saw. And I got a lot of flack for like, you're stealing my show, India. No, it's cool. I love her. But yeah, so it's just like all of these things that I learned. Okay, this is stuff that I made like right after college. So this is like or not. Oh, here's some good stuff that I made right after college. This kind of stuff. Super flashy. I love this, actually. It's really fun. So this is the kind of work that I was making in class, and it was like really like it stood out just because like we weren't trained to use such like vivid color. We were supposed to make everything color corrected, you know, sort of even, and it's hard to get out of that training if you don't know what you want to look at. And I was like, I want to look at candy and stuff like that. I want to look at these bright colors. I want to be stimulated, and color is something that highly stimulates me clearly. This is the kind of stuff I was doing like in school, just like this very like street work, because it seemed like something that I wanted the professors to like, you know. So I'm out of that now just because I don't have to do it. But this is one of the images that I used in my my senior thesis, and just freak people out because I'm just like, oh, okay, we're not going to zoom in then. So I had like several limbs in this one, and it felt like I was making work like this because I'm always like, I'm always doing a million different things. I'm always using a million different mediums. I'm always trying to communicate in different ways because like I'm like, as a small black woman, I look like, you know, a teenager, and people are willing to like discount what my experience and my opinion is. So I'm always just like boldly trying to like fight back at that. And this was the beginning of where it turned in college. I was like making all this weird like transforming work. So it's like, it's really cool to be able to physically see like how I transformed as an artist. And that, thanks to my archive, I still have like all of my stuff is like listed in dates and like literally it's just like year, month. I think I just have it down to year and month by this point. Before it was like really extensive in like middle school and high school. I had it like, oh, May 31st, like this time is like the day, because I used to take that many photos. So it's like the stuff that I was making in college. I think I got this was in my portfolio to get into college. This is one of the things. So they definitely took me for graphic design. And here's the part where I was just like, nah, I'm just gonna be me. I'm gonna like make my own, like, not my own style. It's very highly influenced by like ID and like Terry Richardson, which I hate now. Like I look back at my thesis, like my written thesis, like I actually like put him in there, and I'm like, I look back at that now, I'm like, oh man, now I have to like see this for the rest of my life. It's the archive. That's the part of the archive. And of course, like the Humans in New York guy found me out in the street. Like, yeah, no, I didn't. I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll take this picture. I just like, had a stack of prints on me at that time, so I guess I'm in his book now. I'm part of his story. And it was funny because he was asking me, and I like he told me who he was, and I was like, oh okay, so you're just gonna like put my story up. And so my thing is like, the caption on that was like, I'm an artist, and he was like, what do you take pictures of? It's like myself. Like, you know, that was shit like that. So I was like, really, like, I'm not gonna give you like a story. Like, I'm on my way home, I'm tired. Like, also, like, you're gonna just like get money off of this. I'm not, you know. What else physically? Oh, I make music also. Like, I don't want to like cut y'all off to my various talents. Oh, cool. All right, so let me actually go to just like. I did just release. Oh, you're right. With the ideas out here, I'll play this. So give me a time to just like drink a beer. This was the first. Yeah, for sure. The intro to that is really short, and it's just like. So this is the first music video that I made, and I just made it on my computer, and it's really fun on like photo booth. I wish
wish I wasn't sad and weepy. Dirt and grime, lonely all the time. Too much noise, it makes me sleepy. I'm tired, exhausted, I'm sick all the time. I ache, I bleed, there's spots all over me. It's better off this way. I'm here, you see, not always polite and sweet and neat and clean like a girl's supposed to be. Don't break my bones, but don't break your hold on me. I built my home up inside your soul so freely. You're greedy. You're all the things that I don't want. You're inept. You couldn't pick the phone up and call me. You opened up my diary and stuck the pages word for word inside your memory. You don't respect me when I display my teeth. You don't get me when I give you the facts, babe. You stand there blinking like you don't taste my tea. Misunderstanding, 'cause I'm she. I'm she. I think you can't relate if they are not he. You twist my words and you say I'm crazy when you don't listen to my reasoning. I bleed for us to get along. We can get along. We can get along. We can get along. We can get up. We can get along. We can get along. We can get up. We can get along. We can get along. Maybe, 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 maybe you'll be my baby, baby. Maybe, maybe you'll be mine, baby, baby. Maybe.
Okay, cool. That's one of my videos. I was like messed up. Yeah. So that was my first music video. I think I have like two other. Oh, it's gonna start one. Sorry. You can check that out later. That's not interesting visually. But I did a compilation video of 9 artists, including me, 9 visual artists, called Power VHS, and it kind of started literally as just like some like video bro like came up to me and like does all these like these like remixes and stuff, and he has like a VHS like station, like so he can produce these videos. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna do a project, you know, whatever. I'm gonna do a series of things, and I was like, yeah, okay. I'd seen him around, and he's like worked with my friends before, and so he was like, I was thinking it could be like a compilation of like women artists and blah blah blah. So I was like, oh cool, I'll handle it. I got like, you know, 8 other people that are dope as hell. One of them is Nandi Loaf. I have a sticker of hers, but like she's dope. Sandra Perry's on it. A couple of my, like a bunch of my friends. It's like mostly like people that I know or like people whose work that I've seen that I was really into, and just put them all on this tape, and I edited the whole thing. It's an hour long, so it's like I basically like edited the work around their stuff. So there's like a lot of like Sesame Street type bumps in between, and just I guess I'll just play the intro, which is all me. And it doesn't like exactly, it's kind of just like a mixtape. It's a visual mixtape, which is what I call it. And this is how it starts. And okay, so the guy who came up to me to do the project, like he was really upset with my attitude. This like big white dude was just like thought that I was railroading him or some other stuff because I didn't want it like the price to be like 666. Like that was his whole thing. It was like all the tapes are gonna be 666. So like that's weird to put that on like this specific project. Can we make it like $7? And he was like, no. And he was like, it's got to be this thing. And then he was like, and I feel like you're changing all this stuff at the last minute. And I was like, I have the project. It's an hour long. It's finished. I'll edit it. I'm just, you know. And he's just like, I can't work with you anymore. I can't afford to do this. So I was like, okay. So we were gonna do this whole tape thing, physically. You know, you were gonna produce the tape. So I was like, okay, cool. Don't need you. I can do it myself. So I got online. I was like, all right, cool. So this is a bust. This is like not gonna work out. I need money to like do this thing now. I'm freaking out. And luckily, I like just had a check come through from like some freelance job that I had done, and so I like bought a printer. So I had to like just buy all this stuff with my own money, but I got donations to like cover it because people were like, wow, yeah, no, this seems dope. I made a trailer out of like the work that was on it, and I was just like, this is going to get done. Like, the project is done. Like, if I had known that I was going to do it myself from the beginning, I don't know if I would have done it because it's just, like, it seemed so huge. So I, like, finished the whole thing, and I was like, well, now all I need is, like, DVDs. You know, I need something to print on these DVDs. So I got this printer that can print on discs, which is dope. Because apparently, I just learned this doing this project. You're not supposed to put, like, physical paper labels on discs because it, like, upsets the balance, and it's, like, a very delicate balance or something. So I had to get all of this stuff. I had to get the cases, I had to get the DVDs, I had to get the printer, I had to get the ink, I had to do all this stuff. So like just knowing the things that I needed to get made it a lot easier, just like because the project was already done. So here's how it starts.
This is a test. I will only be speaking from the forefront of my soul, in my heart, in my mind, and I'm not sure where I'll be going in my time, but I'm sure it'll feel fine and just swell and divine. But I want to pick your brain for a minute and wonder what you think of me. You know, what do you think when you see me? Do you like see a mystery, or do you see this slut that lays around, you know, but it's a little like cute, so you wanna like pet it? It's adorable, it has like little antennas, and when you see it, that's me. But sometimes it'll end on my feet, and I'm steady, you know, but in this modern age, it doesn't always feel so steady because of the way we have to live, the way we have to survive in this world. It doesn't, it's not really like built for us, and it makes me ill, like sick. I don't feel well. My head hurts and I'm hot. I'm like sweaty. And sometimes I'm just cold. Sometimes I feel nothing. But I guess those are good times too. what are we supposed to do here? You know, just live until we don't. I'll take that. You know, I mean, what? I don't take that. I just live forever. You know, that's not going to happen. And we know it's not going to happen. And so, I just try to make it a better place for everybody. Suffering is easy, and we all die, so why waste anybody's time being shitty? Just try to be the best person that I can and own up to any missteps and mistakes along that way. And sure, you know, I can be shitty just as anyone else can be shitty, but I just try my hardest not to be. And you know, this difference between ignorance and just not caring about another person's well-being. And it's really, really important to care about the well-being of others. And it's really grates on my mind when people don't give a shit about others. I don't know, maybe they're bitter in their own souls. Maybe somebody has wronged them and they feel a right to be shitty to others, but I don't think that's a good thing. So I just try to spread love and hope that other people want to love somebody else.
Word. So that's how it starts, and then it moves right into like the rest of it, which is the next one is actually Sandra Perry's piece. There's a lot of like weird things. Let me find a good bump. It's like
where development kit and driver development kit documentation occurs when the kernel or a driver running in kernel encounters an error from which it cannot recover. This is usually caused by an illegal operation being performed.
Check out Sandra Perry's website.
The only safe action the operating system can take in this situation is to restart the computer.
Okay. So like stuff like this, I like put in between. So sort of like give buffers. So like a lot of the stuff like doesn't, you know. Yeah, so that's my Power VHS tape. You can find that if you put in hashtag Power VHS. It's on Vimeo. The whole thing is there. And then so I made, that's something to show, but I had like an actual like physical DVD, and like I made the label for it and like everything. Like it looks so good. It looked way better than if I had done it, you know, through this. Here's what it looked like. Super neat. I'm like still super proud of it. So yeah, I mean, here's my Facebook page, which is how a lot of people know me, through Facebook, which is weird, and that's like a sort of recent phenomenon. Because every time something like goes wrong, I run to Facebook to just like talk about it, and it turns out like you can share stuff. That's what the thing is for. That's what the platform is for. And so like some of the stuff that I make public, usually when strife happens, like I get a lot of like people who see me from that. One thing that happened was somebody had taken a photo of me like on the train without my knowledge and made a whole painting from it, like made a whole gigantic painting, and was trying to sell it, and it was at Smith College, I think. I mean, it was just a search painting, posted by you. It might come up. No, maybe not. But it was a while back. So I found it because like somebody tagged me in it. Somebody went to Smith College, was like, "Yo, is this you?" And I was like, "That's 100% me. What the fuck?" And it was a photo of me like looking down at my phone, like on the train. I was definitely going to like my therapist or something, because that was like the only time I was on that specific like G train. It was ridiculous. Like I knew exactly where I was. And it was from years ago, because it was like I didn't have pink hair like when the photo came, like when the painting came out, and I had pink hair, so I knew exactly when that was. It was really weird. If I had put it in my painting post, I wish I could like find it. It's a great painting. I saved like the high res version of it, so maybe I'll use that to my own advantage. Oh, here's like the fallout from all of that. Some stranger like wrote this whole like long